Hey friends, thanks for stopping by my channel today as we discuss all things Faire. Well, I shouldn't say all things because I only gave it a month, but I want to share with you my take. So let's just say it didn't go as I had hoped. If you are a fellow maker and thinking about joining Faire, I encourage you to grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. I'm going to be sharing with you a behind the scenes look at the numbers, what I sold. I had 4 sales. So if you haven't heard of Faire Wholesale, it's a platform where small businesses like me can go on there and sell my products at a wholesale market to retailers around the country or around the world. It's kind of like an Etsy in my mind, where it's geared towards the smaller businesses to be able to then market their products, as opposed to going to like a trade show where it costs thousands of dollars to join or be in a trade show with big brand people coming through. It's more getting smaller businesses together, I believe. I don't see a Walmart or a Kroger or anything like that coming onto the Faire platform to purchase their stuff. So it's geared toward that smaller niche artisan businesses coming together. And I went into this Faire with a very positive attitude. I worked really hard for a solid 4 months getting my website together, pretty steadily on working on the listings, making sure that all of my copy or all of the wording on my listings were appropriate to a retailer. I changed my labels. I updated my branding. I took pictures and more pictures and more pictures. I had to take pictures of every single item on my shelf. That is because I updated my labels, and so anything that had an old label I didn't want to put on the Faire platforms. If I had 20 items, I would relabel one and take new pictures. It was just so much work. It was so much work on that. I do have some notes, so if you see my eyes go down, I'm trying to keep myself a little bit more on focus here, so forgive me if you see my eyes going down, but I do have notes in front of me. Again, updating my product listings, making sure that the weights were correct, making sure that everything looked professional and easy to read and all of that stuff. That took an awful long time. I don't regret updating my labels. It needed to be done. I was already in the mindset of thinking I wanted to extremely simplify my labeling, and it pushed me to get that all done. So I don't regret the time spent on updating my labels because I like them. I don't even regret the time spent on taking pictures, because at this moment I'm thinking I'm done forever taking pictures of everything but like maybe a few items. But I'll never have to take pictures of my shampoo bars again, or I'll never have to take pictures of this face cream again. They're done. Oh gosh. I'm not upset that I spent the time doing that, but it was a lot of work. 4 months pretty steadily work of getting those updated. And Faire wants you to have like three minimum pictures. And so I felt like I had to take more and more pictures than I would normally have to take. And if you guys know me at all, I don't like photography. I hate taking pictures. I put it off. I will have that shelf over there just jam-packed of products or soaps or wax melts, whatever they may be, waiting to take pictures, because I hate taking pictures so much. And the fact that they were wanting those 3, I didn't like it. I don't regret it, but I didn't like it. One of the reasons that I went through all of this so diligently was, if you follow their set parameters, they promote your business for 3 weeks. And I wanted that promotion. And that's why I have 4 orders under my belt, is because of that. I took all the pictures. I did all of the copy. I made sure that everything was in line with what they wanted me to do for me to get into that 3 week of promoted shops. I don't know how they promote. I think maybe they send out emails saying, hey, new shop or whatever. But I really wanted in on that. And so that's why I was very diligent in all of the work that I put into that website to get it ready to go. Okay, so that was the setup. So the first month, got my first sale. Guys, I was so excited with that first sale. Oh, I want to show you quickly what those sales looked like. So let's look into not only the Faire platform, but also my Soapmaker 3 platform. Okay, so the first sale I had was for soaps, and my payout is $95 for these soaps after their fees. So you will notice that they took 15% commission. They took their $10 fee for new customer acquisition. I don't know what the ship with Faire is. I don't know. Payment processing fee. So basically what that is the card processing fee. And everyone is going to charge you for that. I chose 1.9. That means I wait 60 days before I get paid. I have not gotten paid for these, and it's been well over a month. I chose the smallest amount of card processing. You can get paid, I think, weekly or monthly or something, but that fee, that 1.9 goes up to 2 or 3%. Well, to me, this makes this 17%. 1.9 plus 30 cents, that makes that closer to 17% I'm paying them to run my sales. Now, with that, I understand I'm paying that fee regardless whether I sell that on Shopify or not. So maybe that's not quite fair. But in my mind, I'm paying them 17% plus $10 to make that sell. I'm not paying that 1.9 if I sell it in cash, right? At a craft show. Let's look at this order on my Soapmaker 3. So there were 30 items that I sold, and the total was $127. My net profit on $127.50 is $93. That's my profit. And I don't have their $10 fee in here. I don't have their 15% commission, and I don't have the 1.9% the processing fees. So let's go back and count those up really quickly and see what they have that they're going to take from me. So they're taking 19, 29, 31, I'm just going to say $32 right here. Between all of this, they're taking $32 off of my profit, right? So if I go back to my Soapmaker 3 and I'm going to say, okay, $32 from 93 is $61. Okay, so I think I'm getting confused talking to you guys about the difference between payout and profit. Yes, my payout is $95 for this order after they've taken their fees, right? But I'm looking at profit. So when I go over here and I look at my profit of 93, that's my profit, and I take away that $32, my profit then becomes $61 for this order. If I take 61 and divide that by the 30 items, I'm making $2 a bar of soap. That's my profit on a bar of soap. I guess that's not horrendous, but it's not, to me, sustainable. This is the good profit. Let's look at the next order. So this order was for liquid soaps and some Aleppo soaps. So let's look at the payout. They're taking $29 for this one. So here's the invoice for my next order. This is another soap order, but this also has liquid soaps in it. So this order was $219 minus their 50% commission. So again, my profit is $54.48. Let's go back to what are they taking? They're taking 29. Let's bring up a calculator. All right, so 54 minus 29 is $25 is my profit for this order. Minus 20 divided by 28, I made 89 cents per item on this order. That was my profit per item. And I included a sea moss soap as a sample, so I just lost money on that one too. All right, order number 3. Okay, so order number 3 was wax melts. And I was like super excited that I got to sell wax melts, guys. I sold 40 wax melts. I was just like, this is so great. I'm still in my very excited stage in this moment. This order, they took, we'll just say 30 bucks, rounding about. So $30 is what they took from my commission, from my profit, right? So when I go to this invoice and I have all of these wax melts that I put on here, my profit was $69.32, and they took 30. I have to pay, I lost 30 in the sale because this, again, this is only the 50%. This isn't any of the extra fees that they apply to my sales. $30 from 69, 39 divided by 40, and I'll just do 39 because one of those was a freebie. $1. I made $1 per each wax melt. I made $1. And if I did the 40, because that's part of doing business, right? 97 cents per wax melt. Last order. Let's look at it real quick. So this order was for bath bombs. And again, I was really excited about selling bath bombs, and I had to go buy a box from Walmart to pack them in and try to make sure they got there really in good condition and all of that stuff. So that, I sold 32 bath bombs. And again, guys, I was so happy. I had 4 orders within like a week. It was great. Week and a half maybe. So anyway, $119 was, 50% of that sale, and they took 27, 28, 29, 30. I'll round down to 30. It's a little more than 30. So my profit on those bath bombs was $66.50. So $66.50 minus the 30 of their fees divided by 33 bath bombs is $1 a bath bomb. That was my profit per bath bomb. When I went in and really took some time to look at those numbers, it was so disheartening to me. And I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking that if I could make $2 per wax melt or bath bomb, if I sold a bunch, maybe that would be worth it. The thing that was so disheartening to me about this whole experience was the things that I made the least amount of profit on, bath bombs and wax melts, are the things that take the longest time, effort, and energy and everything. They wear me out. They both just take so much out of me physically and mentally to make those that I could have cried that I was making $1 or less on each item for all of the work I put in. That was very, very disheartening to me. It hit hard. And I'll be honest with you guys, it hit me very hard. So sales were just okay. So on the very first thing I did when I saw those numbers is I removed bath bombs, wax melts, candles, room sprays, what else did liquid soaps. Anything that I didn't have a very high margin on, I took them off of Faire. I am not selling my hard work for that little of a money. And I really think that if it wasn't for both the 15% and the $10, maybe. And then I get these emails from them all the time wanting me to pay for promoted listings or pay to have a sale. There's this June or July sale that they have every year that they want you to offer 15% off. It's like, who can afford this? Not me. I took anything off that was labor intensive or small profit. I'm not going to work for pennies. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep this Faire open. Right now, I still have it open. But I think as soon as I get my first payout, I'm going to close Faire. I'm not going to keep my site open. It's just, not for me. Basically what's next is I am going to close my Faire website. I am going to wait until I get my payout. If I make a soap sale here or there, fine. If not, I'm fine not making another sale. I almost dread another sale coming through, honestly. It's not a bad platform, but I feel like it's going in the way of Etsy. Etsy used to be a great platform until it wasn't. And I think Faire was a great platform until maybe it isn't anymore, or it's going in the way of that. I've read that they're allowing some mass produced things on there. I haven't seen it. I don't know for sure. They're nickel and diming the makers to death. I will say the customer service is one of the best customer service companies I've worked with. Anytime I had a question on getting set up, they were very, very helpful. Customer service, top notch in Faire. I just think that they are really expecting you to pay more and more and more to get your items noticed. I also think Faire is more geared to somebody that is a full-time maker. So I still work full-time and I am not a full-time maker. My profit margins are in line with that. Like if I was a full-time maker, maybe I could purchase everything in huge bulk amounts to get my profit or my cost really low. If my cost was really low, sure, it would work for me. But my costs are not super low because I'm not buying in a large bulk quantity. For somebody like me, that this is a side hustle, let's face it. I've come to terms that this is a side hustle. This is never going to be my full-time job, and it's never going to allow me to quit my job. And 10 years in, I've reconciled myself to that, and I'm okay with that. Honestly, I don't know that I would want it at this moment to be my full-time job. Things have changed. Another video. If it was maybe more in line with somebody's full-time job and they were devoted to that and they could, really get their price points down, maybe it's for them. It's not for the side hustle. You have to buy large quantities of ingredients and inventory so that you can keep your prices low. To come up with $10 plus 15% plus a 2%, if not higher, card processing fee, that just nickel and diming you is not for me. And then the promoted listings, and there was a Reddit about that, and people were all kinds of mad about that. And I don't blame them. So guys, in the end, even though it didn't turn out for me like I would have hoped that it would have, I'm not mad at myself or disappointed in myself. I feel like I put out a really good product on Faire. I think my website was professional and my photos were good. My copy was great. I'm very proud of that part. I am disappointed in the outcome, clearly. In the end, my products are updated. My labeling is updated. My pictures on my website, my Shopify, my personal website, they're all updated. All of that's done, and I can leave that in the past. I'm okay with that. I'm always up for trying new things, and if they don't work out, they don't work out. I am a little bummed about all the energy I put into it, but I'm trying not to be, because it made everything about my Shopify website better. So there's that. A positive. I have to end on a positive note. I'm really curious to see if you guys have ever tried Faire, what your experience is. I know I had a video on it and I heard some of your experience. But I'm curious to see what you think. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for a little while. I appreciate you guys so much. I will catch you in the next video. If you like the video though, give me a thumbs up and share maybe. If you didn't like the video, you can give me a thumbs down. That's all right. I don't mind. I'm tough. I'm actually a delicate flower. I tell my husband all the time. Lily and I are both delicate flowers. That's right. My dog, Lily. We're both delicate flowers, but I can be tough sometimes. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging. I'll see you next week. Bye.